Hello and welcome to another video here on my channel focusing on lawn irrigation for the project of expanding and renovating my existing lawn irrigation system. In the previous videos, which you can find in the playlist below in the description, I have already shown you how I assembled, installed and integrated the new distribution box. And in this current video, it will be about modifying the distribution box of the 2001, the primary distribution box that I have had for a long time. And for that, I will take you along again so that you can follow how I implement the whole thing here. As described in the previous videos, I have connected the distribution branch in the second distribution box as follows. From this first pipe 1000, which is still connected to my old box here, the entire new distribution box is operated, so the water primarily arrives there and is then redistributed on the other lawn area below the pool into a total of 4 circuits. I have the primary water circuit here for the area up top, where I am currently operating 4 sprinklers. This one circuit is to be drilled out into 2 circuits, each of which will only need to operate 3 sprinklers. I have already described this in the other videos. I no longer need circles, no, 2 and no, 3 up here at least for the foreseeable future. Therefore, I will dismantle these 2 circuits now. I will use one of these valves to control this second circuit, which I will tap off from the first circuit through my Hunter control computer, and the third circuit I will simply deactivate for now, with the thought that in a few years or months, depending on how things develop, I can later incorporate a 4th lawn area, which I have in the upper part of my small house, located behind the garden shed. In today's video, I will take you along on the topic of this dismantling. I will first start by removing this decorative gravel around my old distribution box. As you can see, the outlets go over here, make a 90-degree bend, then go through my lawn, along under the walkway, and under my terrace into the pool house. I will completely deinstall one of these pipes. However, I will leave a second pipe in place. I might be able to use it for other purposes later. Additionally, I will need the control cable for the second distribution box that I installed down here. I will now install this control cable, 2001. To what extent I do this, here will become more or less clear when I see the conditions underground. I will start by carefully uncovering this distribution box to safely get access to my pipes. I have now cleared the area next to my distribution box. You can see here how I proceeded during the original installation. I have now here the first valve, which supplies this upper lawn area directly, is the line that runs along here at the top. The upper part then disappears behind this lawn edge into the ground and is then split there via a T-piece. I then have the 2 valves. You can see 2 or 3 of them here, but for now you only see the second one. The third one is still buried here, and I won't be addressing that today. This second valve then runs down together with this third one here into this drainage pipe. I installed it in the ground back then as a kind of conduit, empty channel. This drainage pipe runs underneath this pool terrace, and I will make one now. I will now disconnect this middle valve and the pipe associated with it. I will practically cut this pipe here and then pull it out from the other side. For this, I need to remove some pipes in the pool house first, and then reinstall them, as there are many angles, clamps and the like, so this is going to take quite a while. Before I pull the pipe back, I will do one thing. I will push my control cable through this pipe, which will peek out on the other side. At the moment I pull this PE pipe, this water pipe downwards, and have secured the control cable at the other end, up here. The control cable will gradually slide out of the pipe from the bottom and will practically come out on the other side. To put it simply, I am using this pipe temporarily as a kind of threading pipe for my control cable to conveniently get it to the other side. Because this control cable is 5 times, I won't be able to get it through this drainage pipe. Although I took the precaution of pulling a rope here back then, which means I could, in an extreme emergency, also pull the control cable through this rope now. But if I have this option, I would like to take advantage of it and leave this rope here for any eventualities I might have later. So I will now start the dismantling of this middle 2001 water line in the pool house. Once that is completed, I can thread the cable and take you along with me in the video. At this point, I will also give you a little insight into the other side of this drainage pipe. You can see here at the back that this drainage pipe is coming out of the ground, along with the 3 pipes in total. This upper pipe at the clamp is what I want to remove. I have already detached it. It is currently running along here and is already lying outside. As I said, I will pull it back piece by piece. I will then secure the other 2 pipes that remain here using the clamps and cable ties. This down here is a technical zone. It needs to be pragmatic. It shouldn't look particularly nice. It should work and not be in the way or hanging around. I have ensured that here I will now open this 1 clamp at the back and completely expose this pipe, reattach the other 2 pipes, then thread the control cable, and this pipe will be pulled out towards the lawn area, so that ultimately the control cable should hang out here by about 2001, allowing me to integrate it through the openings at the back into my pool house. I have properly installed the pipes under the pool house and the pool terrace again. The 2 remaining pipes are now free on the lawn area, and the 3rd pipe is also exposed. I have now laid out the control cable that I want to install, so I have an approximate length for how far I need to thread it into the pipe that I will be pulling down. You can see it here. I have already removed it from the coupling. I will now thread the control cable into this pipe for its entire length as it lies here now. And afterwards, when I have done that, I will pull out the black PE pipe from the other side, from over there. The pipe is then free. I can reuse it elsewhere, as it is recyclable and doesn't need to be thrown away. And the control cable, since I have secured it on the other side here, would consequently be automatically threaded into my drainage, into this drainage pipe that I have lying there, and can then be used to connect the control valves in the rainbow distribution box. Let's go. I have now threaded the cable. You can also see that I couldn't get a good M in at all because the cable is relatively soft and flexible. This means it's not so easy to push it through to this length. In this case, it's enough for me, so it definitely comes out on the other side of this drainage pipe. And in case it didn't go through this PE pipe, I would have had to get a spring aid to pull it through from the other side. But on the way, it is of course more convenient, especially when working alone and not having a second helping hand on the other side of the pipe. On the other side, you can now see the other end of the PE pipe. Logically, I will pull it back now, so from up there, all the way back. And the control cable should therefore simply remain here at the bottom and stay there. Done. You see the control cable is now through. I have now removed this piece of pipe. I can then bring it in down here when I draw the additional circuits. I will now additionally lay the control cable in an empty conduit under my pool terrace down here so that it is protected from UV radiation. Then it will go under the pool terrace over here, through the wall, into my pool house. From there, as you saw in the last video, I have already laid empty conduits that go into my distribution box, into the new distribution box. And in here, I will then install a box where these 4 valves can be connected to this new control cable. And the other half of the cable, that is, the other side, will then be connected at the top, either to the existing system, or I will pull the cable through the wall and connect it directly to the control computer. I need to take a closer look at it on site first. I have now redirected the empty conduit, so I have cut it accordingly. I have already roughly installed it as far as I can. I will also interrupt the empty conduit in the pool house. You know, I already have an opening with an empty conduit here inside. Directly behind it, with a bit of reserve, the empty conduit is opened to allow for potential future work directly on the cable and similar tasks. And now I will thread the control cable, which you see here, through the entire length into this empty conduit, up to this drain pipe. I hope I can manage it without any threading aid. I do have it, but it's just cumbersome to unwind the threading aid by myself. Once I have threaded it, the entire system will be installed under the pool terrace, brought through the opening in the pool house wall into the interior, and then connected to the existing empty conduit so that I can clamp it in the distribution box. After about a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, I have now pulled the empty conduit with the control cable through its entire length under the pool terrace. You can see in the pool house that it comes along here at the back, secured now simply with cable ties to the pipes. I still have a loop of cable here. I can't pull the cable back anymore. It's just too long and is already too tightly positioned in the empty conduits. But it's also too nice to cut. I would just throw away the leftover piece anyway. I don't know what will come later. So, if it doesn't bother anyone, one should just roll it up somewhere and leave it as is. From here, it goes through a second empty conduit across the wall to the other side, directly into the distribution box, into this rainbow box. Here I have the cable, and I will now install an electrical box right here inside, where I will then connect the control cable to these 4 valves. And then comes the second act, where the other end of the cable will be connected to the control computer 2001, and afterwards comes the test. And then I will also be done with the preparations for the expansion of my lawn irrigation system. So you see, I have now spent almost 2 weeks on this project and have not yet implemented anything of what the actual plan was. 2001. Before I connect the control cable, here's a close-up. The control cable itself has 4 black wires. Unlike the control cable I already used in the first box, I must say, I find it negative that the labeling is very, very weak. So I have been searching for a long time to see if they are even marked. I'm going to try to go for it now. Here you can see a pattern lightly embossed. With a lot of imagination, you can piece together the numbers from 1 to 4. So I really have to be careful and test that I connect the right cables so that the sequence also matches on my control computer. Additionally, this protective earth cable is included, the yellow-green one. I will not use this for the protective earth cable connection itself. I know, especially in Germany, every electrician will hit their head and say it's forbidden, never ever. But it is a control cable. The cable is made for that. In other countries, it is somewhat common, especially when I am in tourist areas. I know and would really like to point out at this point that this cable must not be used for the transmission of electricity, voltage, or ground, or anything in that direction. Rather, it serves solely due to its color to trigger the protective contact, meaning to activate the fuse or RCD, residual current device, in case the current is misdirected somewhere. Please, pay attention. In my case, I have a purely private system here, and I am running everything at 24V. I personally see no risk in this, and I have also spoken with other people. I will use it anyway. This will be the ground cable. This cable practically connects to each individual valve, and each of these black cables also goes to a single valve, so that the control is effectively carried out through this black cable, meaning that the phase is activated. And this here is a uniform ground cable, which is also required for the valve. I will of course make the same connection on the other side. This means that cables 1, 2, 3 and 4, so these black cables, will be connected to the corresponding sockets on the control computer, and this one cable will then be connected to the ground cable. This means that in total there will be 6 valves connected to the yellow cable, and the black cables are each only connected to one valve. I am now connecting everything in my box. And as soon as I have that finished, I will send you a recording of it on your way. I have now completed the wiring at the distribution box, at the rainbow box. You can see here I have the large cable bundle on this side, which comes from the valves. I have my control cable coming into the box from the other side. At this large white terminal, I have connected all the ground connections of the 4 valves to the yellow-green cable, and the others I have then individually connected through the terminals to the 4 control cables of the large brown cable as well. This means that I am now finished down here. Before I attach the box, this small terminal box inside the rainbow box, somewhere up with cable ties on the side, where there are still some small droplets present, slightly elevated. I will first connect the other side to the controller, to the X-Core control computer, and then I will send the signal to the valves individually through the control computer. At least valve number 3 and valve number 2, which are both connected as you can see down here, should definitely work, and the corresponding sprinklers should pop up from the ground and spray water. If that does not work, then it means going on a search for faults. It could be that contacts were not properly clamped at times. Sometimes the terminals are simply broken. I have experienced that as well. It's a search that can drive you almost crazy because you don't know where the error is. However, I assume that everything will work right away. I will take you along again as soon as the second half is also activated. I have now also attached the upper part of the new control cable. The new cable comes through the drainage at the back here. I have additionally installed a conduit in between. Then it goes into the box here, slightly elevated, so that condensation and similar things do not run into the conduits. Now the whole thing goes into the box. In this box I have already connected the 3 valves, the 3rd valve. The far right one I have currently disconnected. As you can see, the cables are also lying open here, which are not needed today. I have connected valves 1 and 2 to the inventory. I have connected the new cable. I have connected the respective measurements. Of course, the note for this green-yellow cable also applies here. Yes, it is not permissible like that, but I must say very clearly, I do not see why I should buy an additional ER cable when I already have 8 wires, just because the regulations specify it somewhere. It works, and it is my private area. Nevertheless, very important for you, please adhere to the regulations. I'm going to do one thing now. I'm going inside the house. From here, a 7-core cable goes out. This means that on this 7-core cable, I have my measurements connected once, and the control phases for the individual valves connected 6 times. In total, I have installed 6 valves. That means at the bottom of this new control box, there are a total of 4 valves in the distribution box. Here at the top are the 2 on the left, so the first and second from the left, which will be connected, making a total of 6 valves. With 2001 plus this 1 ground cable, we are at 7 cables that I have. This cable goes through the gravel back here into the ground through a conduit, so I have now decided to simply tap into the existing cable there without having to dig everything up again and lay an additional conduit. Now back to the house, to my control computer, to my Hunter X core. There, I will reattach the wiring as I ultimately hand it over to the control signal, to the control cable, and then I can switch through the individual circuits one by one on the computer. At the moment, only the first circuit is actually functional. The second one here is currently not connected, as this second circuit is supposed to additionally irrigate the upper area here, and valves number 4 and 5, which are the 2 middle ones in this new rainbow box. if you remember, are also already connected because the two water circuits come from there. The large water area behind the vineyard has also already been integrated. I have now connected the cables inside my house to my Hunter X Core control computer, and you can see here I had to change the wiring slightly. The dimensions have remained the same. The sprinkler number 1 has remained, and the sprinkler number 2 has also remained. You remember, this is the future water cycle that will be newly integrated into the upper lawn area. So at the moment the valve is installed and the pipe goes somewhere into the pool house, but it is already dead. New pipes are being laid and new sprinklers are being installed. I shouldn't activate this valve at the moment because the water would just run off somewhere, but not onto the lawn where it belongs. I have now connected number 3 and number 4 with cables number 4 and 5 coming from the new rainbow box. You remember, I installed a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprinklers, laid 6 additional control cables, and also installed and connected 2001. My current X-Core control computer, which I have been using so far, is the model that you see here, but it is an X-Core 4th. This means that it can process or control a total of only 4 irrigation circuits. I cannot use the additional connections that are indeed provided at the back. Therefore, I have left the 2 outer circles from the new Hunter distribution box inactive for now, and have skipped cables there. I will replace this model here with an X-Core 6 or directly with the 8th version, and then I can directly connect cables 1 to 6 and can then determine through the programming that the irrigation circuits number 6 and now I have to consider that 3 are currently not connected at all, which are the 2 outer ones in the new rainbow box. They simply cannot be controlled. And as long as I don't have this new X-Core control computer, it doesn't have any priority for me right now. So I simply change the order of the cables accordingly. This is only exciting if I happen to rewire something, or if someone comes here who wasn't present, hasn't seen this video, and then wonders, hey, I have cable number 4, control number 4, but sprinkler number 6 is activating. Why is that? Therefore, one would need to check again. In the individual distribution boxes, in these small power boxes, how I have carried out the wiring. I am now doing a rough test to see if everything works. The number 1, that is the irrigation circuit that I have always used, there has been no change, so I will skip it at this point. Regarding irrigation circuit number 2, since there is currently no sprinkler attached, the pipe simply ends open at the moment, so I will leave it alone. Irrigation circuit number 3, here at the X-Core control computer is indeed the practical irrigation circuit number 3. This is the irrigation circuit that is currently running on the lawn area in front of my wooden shelves, if you remember. And we will simply test these now, as I have installed rainbow solenoid valves and here a Hunter computer. The technical specifications are practically identical, so everything should work. But now let's just do the test on example. You can see up here, I'll zoom in and focus.
One does not want to. The control computer is currently off, as you can see now. And I am doing one thing now. I am switching the control computer to the manual section. Now it starts blinking up here. Now let's turn on the light here. You can see it better now. It starts to blink. I am now switching over to irrigation circuit number 3, running it for 1 minute and turning on the operation down here. You can see now that the signal is blinking. You might also hear these flowing sounds in the background. Now, let's do this. I'll quickly dash outside and show you, or we can just see if the right irrigation circuit activates. So I am now outside, and you can already see the sprinklers running in the background. The 2 up there, and the 4th one down here. As mentioned, in the morning it is sufficient to irrigate the entire area uniformly. Now, during the day, you can see that it is no longer enough. This is also a reason why I will turn this one circuit into a total of 2 circuits, and will use only 3 sprinklers, instead of 4 in the future, with different nozzles, to address the pressure fluctuations that I experience throughout the day. As I said, this is not due to the house. but really to the supply line to the house? Yes, I will change that. Well, the whole thing turns off again after a minute, which is why the sprinklers have been retracted now. I'm going to do one more thing. I will now properly store the cables in the boxes. So I will secure this excess cable in the boxes, these small electrical boxes in the distribution boxes here. So I will also attach this box here at the back to these small nipples. Basically, I don't have any standing water here, even with these extremely heavy rainfalls that are said to have increased lately. No idea. I've experienced that several times, even in my childhood. But whatever. This is to ensure that no water can penetrate here, then the box is closed. The same, of course, applies to the first box, to my old box. The cable can then be set aside here, or rather the pipe can also be placed aside for now. And then I am done with the step of being able to continue using the old irrigation circuits, even though I will start the renovations up top. That means this is just the preparation for now, and I recommend you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, because I will now start in the next step to lay another irrigation circuit up there in 2021. That means now the excavation work is coming, where new pipes will be laid, new sprinklers will be buried and aligned, new nozzles will be installed, and the whole process will be planned and tested with some tips on what to consider and what to avoid. If you don't want to miss this, just stay tuned. I would be happy. Until next time.